What up, Pittsburgh Steelers fans? Welcome to this episode of the Steelers Global Perspective. I'm Matty P with Shannon White, my co-host as always. Global Perspective, we're about giving you the macro perspective on all things Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike Tomlin likes to use global in that sort of way. And we happen to be global.
So we'll just kick off with the offense.
We're about to head to the O-line next.
It's the last position, really. I wanted to save it to last because the Steelers are in an interesting situation. They're saying that finally Broderick Jones is going to be the left tackle. Now, they haven't named Frazier as the starting center yet, but we know, there's going to, whatever competition you want to call it.
What are you talking about, Shannon? It's Nate Herbig has a shot at being the center. But the Steelers never start a rookie. Frazier's got to sit. What are you talking about?
But he did in minicamp start to get first-team reps. Now, they're saying that Fautanu and Moore are going to be competing at right tackle.
Yeah.
After all we heard last year was Moore can't play right tackle. So I think that decision, that's a discussion that is mute at this point. Fautanu is going to dominate that. He is the starting right tackle. Now, a while back I said that he could possibly be moved to guard later on by his second contract, and I was taken to task.
Same when I brought that up as well. I was taken to task as well.
I'm saying that Craig Wolfley himself says that he thinks that will be his best position down the line. Yep. Not right now, and everybody loses it, but I'm just saying. But for the immediate near future.
It's as if an offensive lineman has never moved inside as they've gotten older.
Oh, it's never happened. No. But in the near future, you got Seumalo and Daniels are both one because Seumalo's getting older, and Daniels is coming up being a free agent. And I love Daniels. I like both guys. They're excellent players. But I still believe that you took Mason McCormick, who it looks great. He looks like the real deal, just needs some seasoning. That he's going to be ready to step in when needed. Yeah. There's value. Now, the other guy I want to bring up is the guy that's value is right now is in the versatility. And I'd love to see him be the backup center and back up the inside interior positions. But Spencer Anderson looks like a future starting right guard.
That's what I've said. How long have I been on this train? Yes. I watched the tape last year. I said he's a right guard in the NFL. He looks terrific. It's good because Mason
or left guard, but I think he's more used to right guard.
But look, I don't want to judge it just off it because he's also played a little bit of left tackle when needed. But he was just better on the right.
Yeah,
he was just really good on the right, and every game where I felt like he was putting blokes in their place, and I think, I'm the last one to sit there and judge offensive line play. I think unless you've played it, I think people can assume a lot there unless you've been around it really, really closely. But the way his body shifts with power to the right, he looks a lot more comfortable to me than when he does the left. It's just the way his footwork matches the upper body. He just is more seamless, and I think the way he engages the block. As I say, I'm not the right one to deeply talk about it, but it is clear from when I'm watching that the right side is where he is naturally responding and able to assess, and he's got a really good ability. It could even be that his peripheral vision's better out of his left eye, but his ability to stay consistent with where he needs to move in accordance with the line and where the quarterback's moving. He seems to feel that better when the quarterback is to his left, and having a concept of where the runner is. That's when I watched him on run blocking plays, how the running back is receiving that ball and moving out to the right or picking a lane in between him and the tackle. It just feels like I feel like he's got that more down pat. That's just my thing.
The majority of people have a dominant side.
Yes.
Whether you're right-handed, left-handed, usually you'll use that side of your brain more. And it makes a difference. People that use the left side of the brain are usually more creative, quirky. There's different things.
Are you left-handed?
Well, that's what I was going to get ready to get to. I've known a lot of people that, like when they would test us, all coaches like, all right, what's your dominant hand? Well, you're going to do left-hand layups. You're going to dribble with your left hand. You're going to, and then people will be like, what's your dominant side? I said, I don't know. I write right-handed, but I can write with my left.
Yep.
I was a switch hitter. I could do things with either hand. And my footwork was the same. I felt comfortable going to the left or going to the right on the basketball court. Yeah. And so not everybody's like that. A lot of the people you see who make successful transitions from the right to the left-hand side on the offensive line or vice versa are more ambidextrous.
Well, and so as someone so this is interesting, right, out there, because I was ambidextrous going into school, and my teacher found it difficult to teach left.
Yeah, so they make you they push you to do right.
Correct.
Because everything's easier because everything's made for right-handed people.
And my wife is a left-handed person.
I mean, it's just easier for using your right hand. Huh?
Yeah, and so my wife is a left-handed person, which is interesting.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So I shoot with my left hand. I'm left-eye dominant because I've got like a vision issue in my right eye. But recently we did this. We were talking about dominant feet. And I said, I've got a left foot dominant. And we did like the push test. And because there's no way that you're left foot. I'm like, 100% left foot dominant. And she pushed me and my left foot. She was like, wow. And I was like, yeah, and I can do a lot. I can eat the other way around.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't write. My left hand writing is atrocious. However, my right hand writing is also atrocious as well. So like, the fact that there's one a lot worse than the other, right?
But here's the funny thing is you have people it's like, well, it couldn't be that hard. Why can't they learn how to just play the other side? Or okay, have a shoulder injury.
Yeah.
Okay, or any arm injury. And then have to wipe your rear with your non-dominant hand.
And Shannon,
let people try it, and they're going to say, "Man, it's a lot harder than I thought it was."
Well, I don't know what you've been reading up on me, but I broke. I broke. No. I tore the ligament in my wrist, and I broke the scaphoid bone, one of the toughest bones. One of them. When I say toughest, it's one of the most annoying bones to break because there very few things they can do with a scaphoid injury. Like it's not an easy injury. It's a small bone between your wrist and your hand, and I tore the ligament off the bone. And they had to put it in the whole. They put the whole. I ended up putting the whole half arm in a cast because they literally can only immobilize. Well, I'm right-handed.
Yeah.
So up until that point, as you say, Shannon, I'd never wiped my behind with my left hand.
No.
Oh my God. And because of the ligament that I tore, it wasn't just the 6 weeks that I had the cast on.
Yeah.
And I had a special cast that it wasn't like the old cast. It was actually a new one that you can take on and off daily, and it was and twist and turn. It was molded to my. It was a really cool piece of modern tech. But it actually took me. It was 3 months. I don't think I wiped my own behind with my right hand, and it is the hardest thing to do. And recently, I had a cut on my hand, and I was like, you know what? I might just go back and use this one because whatever. Right? This is gross. But it was a lot harder, and so it's exactly as you say: is that people don't realize how dominant that is, right? And it's even from the perspective you said there on shoulder, right? And I'm just talking about this from the body movement perspective.
Yeah.
Because I'm left foot dominant, I am more likely to engage in a tackle with my right shoulder.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
But my right shoulder is the one that I ended up doing the most damage to, and I had some problems with because over time I'm just hitting people with the right side. Like that's what I'm looking to do. So like when playing rugby. So like I think people don't necessarily always equate like that guy's got this hand or that guy's with this. But as I just said before about peripheral vision, most people do not have equal peripheral vision.
No, it's true.
They don't. Right?
Not only that, but range of motion and flexibility, you'll be more dominant on your dominant side almost always. and and that's something you have to, there's so many different factors that go into that. And that's why I said right tackle when I said Spencer Anderson, because I do think I agree with you. That is his natural. He's much more fluid that way.
Yeah, and he just gets there fast.
But if you look at it, if that does come to pass, the youth, the talent, and the expense of the Steelers offensive line will put them in a very unique position,
which will help them retain.
Again, they're going to have to find a quarterback, one way or the other.
And this is the thing that I talked about a couple of weeks back when I did the salary cap review, probably almost 2 weeks ago. Russell ain't taking less than $30 million a year.
No way, no.
So that's immediately why there's no Ayuk. You cannot afford that.
Yeah.
Right?
And pay Pickens and continue to pay Watt
and pay Pat Freemuth and pay the Warren Onaji and it's not happening. It's not. So
hopefully people are starting to get past that. I hope.
Get past what?
The whole Ayuk thing. I mean, if he puts on a Steeler hat, everybody loses their mind.
No one loses their mind when we put on Steeler.
No, but we're not, Pro Bowl level wide receivers.
Well, I'm going to come out there and just say it. I think I like Ayuk. I actually was really hopeful on him coming into the NFL. I think he's a little bit over. I'm not sure if I was a GM, I'm paying Ayuk $28 million. Someone's going to hit me up in the comment for that. But there's other guys I pay $28 million to before I'm paying Ayuk $28 million. I'm just saying that.
Yep.
So that is what it is. But is there a position, I guess, to wrap up this, and we've probably gone double on offense than what we thought we would. So we might have to do defense next week, but nothing like you and I having a good deep discussion or yarn, as we say in Australia. That's a slang term. But is there a position that you feel, and obviously it's different because a lot of times in the league, tight end or running back is going to be your cheapest position, particularly running back, because you cycle through them through drafts. And you can't obviously, and you wouldn't anyway say quarterback because it's a unique situation this year. But what out of all the offensive positions do you think actually has the most potential value there, or even value right now? And it's something that I guess we should be thankful for in many ways this season, because it is the cheapest. It's the second cheapest offense in the league to start out.
Well, obviously, quarterback is a unique situation. It's the obvious answer, but we know why.
Yeah.
So if I'm having to, the Steelers could be very fortunate if George Pickens is wide receiver one, and you could still pay him another year at what they're paying him. But again, that's going to change. But for me,
should probably.
Yeah, it should definitely. But for me, it's offensive line.
Yeah.
I love the fact that Khan finally did what Kevin Colbert refused to do, and he invested resources in the offensive line. And if you pick up Troy F. I cannot say his name. Fautanu, whatever. I got to hear somebody say it a lot before I'll watching the game, and then it'll come to me. But to get him and Frazier and McCormick in one draft class, I think one day we will look back and discuss, when we're discussing this draft, we're going to discuss those three guys and how it's solidified what I believe could potentially be the best offensive line in the NFL within 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they already have Broderick Jones.
That's it, right? That's exactly it. And the only thing that I'm we talked about having two interior depth pieces. I'd really love to have another tackle out there. It'd be really nice to have a tackle they're developing, but they've got a guy in his second year and they've got a guy in his rookie year. So you don't want another necessarily challenge there. So,
if is his name, is it Omir or Omar Cook?
Dylan Cook, I think.
Dylan Cook, that's right. If Cook, they're very high on him. If he is that, just could be that backup swing guy. He's got the length, he's got size, he's got athleticism. If he proves that he can do that, again, there's another young guy that the Steelers got dirt cheap.
True. Very true.
He's a developmental guy. You said you'd like to have one. I think they got one.
That's fair. I think it's less of a concern too, because sometimes in my brain I get stuck back in the how young are they, how many games do they play, because are they still eligible for the practice squad? But it kind of doesn't matter anymore. So, but it's hard to remove that lens. I'm always like, that guy's been around for 2 or 3 years. I don't know if he still qualifies for the practice squad. Maybe they could turn Loudermilk into an offensive lineman. What do you think about
that? Like I said, I root for the kid because I was so down on him when they drafted him. And I've always felt bad about that. But I still think I was right when I said all along I said he could have been an undrafted free agent. That's one of Colbert's worst picks. And I'll stand on that till proven otherwise.
I love it. I love it. Well, that's going to wrap up this week's Steelers Global Perspective content. I'm Matty P with Shannon White. As always, go